Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival, and yeah, I clickbaited you a little bit, well, somewhat, maybe, but not really. This is going to be my last BattlBox that I ever review. Now on Living Survival, it has always been my philosophy to only review products that I use myself and that I can recommend to you. Now many of these subscription boxes come out with great boxes at first, maybe their first month or two, they have fantastic boxes and then they sort of trickle off. You've seen me review several boxes in the past. I've stopped reviewing them for that exact reason. They just didn't have the value, in my opinion, to recommend them to you. Now when it comes to survival and tactical gear, BattlBox is probably the #1 subscription box, and their boxes pretty much all the way through have been fantastic. 2 months ago they took a nosedive and they came out with that DOP kit, toiletry type box, and just about everyone disliked it, including myself. Now there were a few YouTubers out there that maybe just because they got a free box, they said how great it was. That is not what you're gonna get on my channel, and that's not what you're gonna get today. I decided I was going to give it another month, see what came in the box, and indeed it was a great box, the follow-up to that terrible box. Unfortunately though, this month it is another dismal box in my opinion. Again, I'm sure you're going to see other YouTubers out there saying how great this box is. That's not what my channel is about. My channel is about the products that I personally use, the products that I can personally recommend to you. Now that's not saying that what is in this box is not something that you would use or not something that you would really like. You're gonna have to make that decision for yourself. But again, you're not gonna see any more battle boxes, and you're probably not gonna see any more subscription boxes on my channel. With that being said, let's dig into this box and see why I thought it was another failure from BattlBox. Like usual, when you open the box, you get the card that breaks down their different subscription levels, as well as gives you a little bit of information on their thought process between putting this kit together. This one is Urban Survival, Mission 28, June 2017. So they have their breakdown of subscriptions. They're basic at $24.99, advanced at $49.99, pro at $99.99, and Pro Plus or Knife of the Month Club at $149.99. Now they show the actual value of the items as well as an overall value, and I must say, in past boxes, BattlBox being one of the only boxes that nearly doubled or tripled the value in their boxes. So, you know, as far as bang for the buck, you do get a lot of value with the BattlBox subscription. However, value is sort of a loose-ended term. Value is how often am I going to use a product that's in here? You know, how much do I like the products that are in here? It doesn't really matter to me how much they value it or how much it costs if I'm not going to use it, and it's just going to sit around and collect dust. So while I have you here, let's go ahead and go through the breakdown of this box and let you know what is in it. Let's move some of the stuff out of the way here. First up in the basic, we have the Kershaw Shuffle folding knife. So that is this guy right here. You can pick this up pretty much anywhere, including stores like Walmart. This is probably one of the worst knives Kershaw has ever come out with. In my opinion, it's poorly built. I have 1 or 2 of these laying around. They never get used. Again, a knife that just sits around for me and collects dust. It does have a bottle opener on it, so maybe you want to throw this in a tackle box or something, or maybe you want to throw it in with your, you know, your cutlery in your kitchen to have a way to open a bottle. It's not a very expensive knife. They give it a value of $13.47. Next up, we have a 4-way Silcock wrench key. Let's go ahead and find that. I actually have one of these items in my get home bag in the car. Basically what the Silcock key does is it allows you to turn on faucets that are at like public buildings, so like schools, churches, and things like that. Generally they'll have a special, you know, nozzle on their water supply, so that you have to use this type key to get into it. So in a SHTF situation or something like that, if you needed water, you could use an item like this to open that water and be able to collect it. So they give this an $8.89 value. Next up, we have an EDC pocket tool. It's probably this little keychain thing here. You know, these are a dime a dozen these days. Everyone makes these, all the way from budget on up to expensive. It's just a little key that you know, that does multiple things. It looks like this one has a little pry tool, a little knife on it that's fairly sharp. Bottle opener. Looks like it's got maybe a seatbelt cutter, an oxygen, you know, an oxygen tool, and then it does come with this little, I wouldn't call it Kydex. It's just a little thermoplastic sheath. Pretty good retention. Seems like it'll stay on there. I had to upgrade this little ring on here. It seems pretty cheap and flimsy. So to me, that doesn't have much value. You know, I mean, you can get these anywhere these days. They give this an $8 value, so that's pretty decent. Then you have a ReadyMan lock blocker access denial card. So that is probably this. It says ReadyMan on it. And what these do, again, I'll give you a close-up in a moment, is you can shove these into a lock, and it prevents someone from putting a key in. So maybe you have a shelter-in-place situation in a school or something, you could shove one of these in the door and people wouldn't be able to get in. Not sure you're ever going to need something like that, and they give that a $13 value. That's way overpriced in my opinion. Manual fuel oil hand pump. So let's see, I think I pulled that out already. A fuel pump, good thing to have in your car probably. You know, it would allow you to siphon out gas from another vehicle. It would also allow you to pump you know, water, for example, into a larger source. So they give this a $16 value or $17 value. I'm sure that's probably what it costs. Again, something that I probably wouldn't waste the space in my bug out bag or vehicle kit. Maybe leave it in the vehicle, you know, just in case you ever needed it. I might use it to maybe pump out water out of a kayak or something like that. But again, you know, to me, not a very useful item as far as something that I would actually use. So again, the value may be there, but the value to me is definitely not there. Then we have a folding shovel entrenching tool with pouch. Folding shovel with pouch, so that might be this. And again, we're still on the basic pack, so you're paying $25 for all this. Looks like a folding shovel here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like just a little folding shovel, small little shovel here with a trenching tool on one side, shovel on the other side. So I mean, it is small. It does have a little pouch that goes with it, but it seems really cheaply made. In my opinion, I'd rather go with like a cold steel shovel, something like that. It does seem to work okay. I just don't know how long it's gonna work for. It seems almost if it's gonna break. But I guess, you know, it is working. The handle has a rubber handle on it. The grip does slide off. They give it a $24.60 value, and then they also give you a ReadyMan basic membership. I usually don't even include those. They're free as far as BattlBox goes, but so that's the basic pack. You actually do get, you know, some decent stuff there for $25. They give it a $95 value. You know, if you were going to subscribe to any level on this particular box, probably the basic would be the most valuable as far as what, you know, I'm looking for goes. All right, so next up in the advanced pack, they have a ReadyMan Gray Man pack. That would be this pack here. It does seem fairly well built. I mean, the nylon is pretty thin. The shoulder straps are definitely pretty thin. Something that they probably got made in China. You know, it's got air mesh, but it's not real air mesh. There's really no padding in here, just some very light padding. It does have YKK zips, which is nice. So it does have a long pocket on this side. So I could see maybe setting this in your car like this and you know, having some gear in here. I guess it would work okay for that, but it's a very basic pack, but they're only charging you $40 for this. For $40, I'd probably spend my money elsewhere as far as a pack goes, but I'd say it probably is worth the $40. All right, so on to the next thing in the advanced pack. Ontario Knife Company Parapry, first release. Probably just a little pry tool. Yep, just a little pry tool with no handles on it, but I see here that they do say Paracord Galaxy 6-foot hank of paracord, which is this, and that's free. So they're probably assuming you're just going to wrap this thing with paracord. Just a little pry tool, fairly cool, I guess. You could certainly always use a pry bar or a pry tool. $25 value. You know, you can get a Mora pry tool with a nice handle on it, you know, for right around, I think, $10–15. So that does it for the advanced pack. Next up to the pro pack, $99 cost. You have Ontario Knife Company Quick Access Breacher with micarta. So that would be this. This has the sort of sanded micarta on it. Basically the same thing, it looks like, as the Parapry. It's just got a handle on it, and it looks like it's a little bit longer. So I mean, I could see this being useful. They give that a $99 value, which you can get a lot more knife for $99. So that's definitely a little bit off in my opinion, but nonetheless a cool tool. You know, I could certainly see myself actually using this tool. The smaller one, it seems to be even heavier. Not so much. Not a big fan of that smaller one. Okay, and then up to the Pro Plus, you have an Off-Grid Tools Survival Knife Axe Elite. And that must be this. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our quick access breacher here to quickly breach this box. Alright, so in here looks like a little axe slash some sort of hook on it there. So Off-Grid Tools Survival Axe Elite. Looks like you've got a little axe head there. It is quite sharp. Nail puller up top. Some hex heads here. Oxygen tool. Looks like it's got a little pry bar, maybe a little bottle cap turner pry bar, so you could use that as sort of a hammer and a pry bar. It's got a sort of a plasticky type handle. It does say made in the USA. Let's see, push, then twist is what we do for the bottom part here. Push and twist. Okay, so it's got a little sawzall blade in it, looks like. As far as it goes. Yeah, it's got a stop right there. So it's got a little sawzall blade, although that's as far as it goes. And it's going to be pretty awkward to saw something with that, especially that type of blade. You're going to be sawing, you know, maybe metal or something like that. It looks like they are possibly interchangeable with other sawzall blades, but again, sort of just seems dangerous to me. And it's, I guess you got to push it and twist it. I don't know. It just seems really cheap in my opinion, and definitely not something that I would use. There's better tools out there for sure. It's got a little glass punch seatbelt cutter, but again, you know, what are you gonna do? Slash your seatbelt and then run the risk of this burying this blade into your chest. So, you know, not my favorite at all. And they give this a $90 value. I'd really rather spend my $90 somewhere else. So when you break it down, everything that you saw me unbox here would have cost you $150. They give it a $360 value. That may or may not be true. I mean, the value for some of the stuff is certainly there. I think the Ontario knife is a little overpriced. You know, I think this shovel, they could have done better there. And, you know, maybe not even included this and given you like a better shovel, a cold steel shovel. I don't really see why you need, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 different pry bars in one box. So maybe they could have, you know, switched that up a little bit. Again, the shuffle is just a real cheapy type knife. So, you know, value might be there as far as dollar amount, but value for me, for items that my $150 would go towards, is just not there. And that was the same case with the box 2 months ago. Again, they did make up for it with last month's box. I really liked that box, and I have liked every other box that I've gotten from BattlBox. But it seems like they're just sort of falling off. They're starting to make items very cheaply, you know, items that they can have made cheap instead of putting quality gear in here that they used to do. So, you know, not really bashing BattlBox. I think, again, the value is there, whether it's double or triple. I know that there's going to be people out there that really like the items that are in these boxes, but again, it's just not for me, and it's not something I can continue to open up and recommend to you guys. So again, not just BattlBox, all the boxes out there. I have a stack of boxes in the other room that I haven't even shown you guys, just because the value for me is not there, and that's not what my channel is about, just to show you items, just because there's tons of other YouTubers out there that get these same boxes for free that will do videos on them all day long. So if you want to continue to see subscription boxes and what's in them, be my guest and go visit those other channels. So hope you guys understand. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Make sure you leave me a comment on what you think about this month's BattlBox. Make sure you share this to your friends and family who might be interested in seeing this video on your social media. And as always, subscribe for more videos.